Hello, friend. Welcome to History ZZZ. Get comfortable. Let your body settle into wherever you are resting. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands go still. Take one slow breath in and let it go. Tonight, you are on a ship. Not a small ship. The largest ship ever built. 882 feet from bow to stern. 11 stories tall. 46,000 tons. It is the evening of April 10th, 1912. The RMS Titanic left Southampton this afternoon, made a stop at Cherbourg in France to collect more passengers, and is now moving southwest through the English Channel. You are in your cabin. The engines are a low hum you can feel as much as hear. Through your porthole, if it is on the right side of the ship, the lights of the French coast are already fading. You are going to New York. You are going on the Titanic. Close your eyes. You are there. You have had some hours now to begin understanding the scale of this ship. You knew it would be large. You had read the specifications in the newspaper. 882 feet, 46,000 tons. The largest moving object ever built by human hands. But knowing numbers and experiencing the ship are different things. Walking from your cabin to the dining saloon this evening, you passed through corridors that felt like hotel hallways. You took an elevator. An elevator on a ship. You walked past a gymnasium, a swimming pool, a squash court. The dining saloon on D-deck seats 500 people and is decorated in the Jacobean style. Oak paneling, leaded glass windows, white tablecloths. The dinner service was spode china. The wine list was longer than the dinner menu. The ship does not feel like a ship. It feels like a very large, very well-appointed building that happens to be moving through the sea at 20 knots. You keep having to remind yourself you are floating. The ship carries 3 classes of passengers. Your experience depends entirely on which class you are in. If you are in first class, and let us imagine you are for this evening, you are in the most luxurious accommodation available on any ocean liner. Your suite has a private sitting room. Your bathroom has a bathtub with hot and cold running water. Your bed linen is from Belfast. If you were in second class, you would still be well accommodated. The second-class cabins on the Titanic were comparable to first class on other ships of the era. You would have had a dining room with real silverware and genuine tablecloths. If you were in third class, steerage, you would be in a cabin in the lower decks, shared with strangers, the food plain and served cafeteria style. But even third class on the Titanic was an improvement over what emigrants had experienced on previous crossings. Enclosed cabins instead of open dormitories, actual beds. Across all 3 classes tonight, more than 2,000 people are settling in for their first night at sea on the grandest ship ever built. Most of them are sleeping already. The English Channel tonight is calm. This is not always the case. The channel can be brutal in bad weather, short, steep waves that make even large ships uncomfortable. But tonight it is smooth, the surface broken only by the ship's own wake. From the promenade deck, if you step outside briefly before bed, you can feel the sea air, cold for April, carrying the smell of the channel, salt and something clean and vast. The wake behind the ship is luminescent. The disturbance of bioluminescent organisms in the water, glowing faintly blue-white in the dark. The Titanic's passage through the channel is leaving a trail of cold light. Somewhere behind you, the lights of France are gone. Somewhere ahead, in 4 days, New York. For now, there is only the dark water and the luminescent wake and the steady throb of the engines, and the stars beginning to come out above the channel. You go back inside. The cold is real. The cabin is warm. Tonight, you have met some of the people you will spend the next 4 days with. At dinner, you were seated near a couple from Pennsylvania. He is in the steel business, and she is returning from a European tour that has taken them through France and Italy and Switzerland. They are cheerful, well-traveled, easy to talk to. In the smoking room after dinner, you encountered a group of men discussing the ship itself, its speed, its construction, the question of whether it might make a record crossing. One man, who said he was in textiles, was holding forth about the Titanic's sister ship, the Olympic. He had crossed on the Olympic and found this one, he said, smoother. Elsewhere on the ship, a novelist, several industrialists, a department store magnate, engineers returning from Europe, newly married couples on their honeymoon, immigrants going to start their lives over in a new country. 2,224 people in all. Tonight everyone is simply traveling. The ship is staffed by roughly 900 crew members. Most are invisible to the passengers, the engineers below, the stokers shoveling coal into the furnaces, the electricians managing the ship's extraordinary power systems. The visible crew, the stewards, the waiters, the deck officers, are mostly from Southampton. For many of them, this is their first time on the Titanic too. The ship is new, has made only one previous trip, and the crew has been assembled specifically for this maiden voyage. Captain Edward Smith is making his final crossing before retirement. He has been at sea for 40 years, captained the finest ships of the White Star Line, and has chosen to end his career with the greatest ship ever built. He is in his quarters this evening, having presided over a dinner for first-class passengers. He is 62 years old. He is thinking probably about retirement, about home. The ship is in good hands. The sea is calm. The crossing, by all expectations, will be unremarkable. Somewhere deep in the ship, the engines are running. The Titanic is powered by 2 reciprocating steam engines and 1 steam turbine, a combination that produces approximately 46,000 horsepower. The sound of the engines is omnipresent on the ship, a deep, constant vibration more felt than heard. By morning, you will have stopped noticing it. Tonight, it is still new enough to register as a sensation. Down in the boiler rooms, the stokers are at work in shifts. The Titanic burns approximately 620 tons of coal per day. The coal has to be shoveled into the furnaces continuously, the temperature and pressure monitored, the ash removed. The stokers work in extreme heat in the depths of the ship, in conditions that passengers above decks never see and rarely consider. They are making possible the smoothness of your crossing. The coal burns, the steam builds, the propellers turn. The ship moves through the dark channel at 20 knots, carrying everyone above and everyone below toward the open Atlantic. The grand staircase of the Titanic is the image everyone has seen, or rather its recreation in later years, since no photograph of the original survives. It descends through 7 decks, lit by a domed skylight of wrought iron and glass. The railings are carved oak. The newel post at the bottom of the main staircase holds a cherub-shaped lamp. At the first landing, there is a carved panel with a clock flanked by figures representing honor and glory crowning time. Tonight, the staircase is quiet. Dinner is over and the passengers have retired to the lounges or to their cabins. A steward passes with a tray. The electric lights cast warm light on the carved paneling. The grand staircase is one of the most beautiful things you have ever seen in your life, and it is on a ship. You pass through it on your way to your cabin. You stop at the landing and look up at the dome. For a moment you just stand there looking up. In a small room on the boat deck, two wireless operators are at work. The Marconi Wireless Room, the ship's communications center, is open around the clock. Jack Phillips and Harold Bride take shifts, sending and receiving the wireless telegraph messages that connect the ship to the world. Most of the traffic tonight is personal messages. Passengers sending greetings to people at home, businessmen sending messages about commercial matters, the social chatter of people who are excited to be on this ship. But some messages are weather and navigation reports. Other ships in the North Atlantic sending their positions, reporting conditions. Over the next 4 days, several ice warnings will come through this room. But tonight, mostly personal messages. The wireless is busy with the excitement of the departure. Phillips is patient with the high volume. It is only the first night. The wireless crackles in the small room. The signal travels from the ship's antenna up into the dark sky and through the air to receiving stations hundreds of miles away. The world is connected by invisible waves. In the lower decks, in steerage, the crossing has already begun differently. The third-class passengers, many of them emigrants from Ireland, Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, Lebanon, have settled into their cabins and are adjusting to the ship's motion, the unfamiliar food, the different language around them. Many have never been on a ship before. Many are traveling alone. For many, everything they own is in the trunk or bag they brought aboard. In the third-class general room, the main common area, some passengers are still awake. A group of Irish men have started a song. Someone has a fiddle. The music is different from the orchestra playing in the first-class saloon several decks above, but it is just as real and just as joyful. A young woman from County Mayo is writing a letter home by lamp. She has been in America before. She went 3 years ago, came back, and is going again. This time she thinks she will stay. She does not know that she will stay in America not by choice, but because this is the ship she is on. Above the ship, the stars. The sky in the English Channel in April 1912, before the era of widespread electric light on land, and certainly without the light pollution of ships and planes that fills the modern night sky, is extraordinary. The Milky Way is visible from the promenade deck. If you go forward to the bow and look up, the ship seems to be moving through a sky that is more star than dark. A few passengers are still on deck, despite the cold. One is an astronomer, or at least an enthusiast, who has brought binoculars and is identifying constellations and pointing them out to a patient companion. The ship moves through the dark water, and the sky moves above it, and the stars don't know or care that below them the grandest ship ever built is passing through the night. Orion is setting in the west. In 4 days, over the North Atlantic, when the night is clearer still, some of these same stars will be reflected in the water. But that is later. Tonight there is only the channel and the ship and the stars. Your cabin. The bed is made with linen from Belfast. The White Star Line sourced their linens from the same Irish mills that made the finest table linens in the world. The sheets are crisp and smell faintly of starch. The porthole shows the dark sea and occasionally the lights of a passing ship. The channel is busy with traffic. It always is. Freighters and passenger vessels and fishing boats. The steward has left a small card on your pillow explaining the times for breakfast, the activities tomorrow, and the procedure for calling him if you need anything in the night. You sit on the edge of the bed and take off your shoes. The engines hum. The ship is utterly steady. No roll, no pitch. The channel is calm, and the Titanic is large enough that small swells are irrelevant. You lie down. The pillow is very good. The ship carries you toward the open Atlantic. Let the ship carry you. The engines are steady, the sea is calm. In the boiler rooms, the fires burn. In the wireless room, the messages travel. In the third-class general room, the fiddle is quieting. In the grand staircase, the electric lights still glow. 2,224 people, all of them asleep, or nearly. All of them on the largest ship ever built, crossing the channel on the first night of what should be an entirely unremarkable maiden voyage. Sleep is easy tonight. The ship is warm and steady. Tomorrow there will be the day at sea, the Atlantic ahead, the calls at Queenstown in Ireland. But that is tomorrow. Tonight you are simply on a ship. Let the engines hum. Let the stars turn. Let the dark water of the channel slide past beneath you. Good night aboard the Titanic. Good night. Before you sleep, a word about the music. The Titanic carries an 8-piece orchestra. Actually, 2 separate ensembles, a 5-piece and a trio, who play in different locations at different times of day. Tonight, during dinner and for some time afterward in the reception room, they played selections from the popular music of the era. Waltzes, ragtime, music hall songs, the operatic favorites. The sound filled the dining saloon and drifted into the corridors. The musicians are employees of the White Star Line through an agency, technically contractors rather than crew. Most of them are experienced ocean liner musicians. They have crossed and recrossed the Atlantic on various ships. For now they are sleeping or relaxing in their cabins. In 4 days, on the last night, they will play on the deck until it is no longer possible to play. But tonight, the music is done for the evening. The instruments are in their cases. The notes have dissolved into the salt air. The channel is quiet except for the engines. Tomorrow the ship stops at Queenstown, Ireland. It is the Titanic's final port call before the open Atlantic. Passengers board by tender boat from the harbor. The Titanic is too large to dock at Queenstown. More third-class passengers, mostly Irish emigrants, will climb up the gangway from the tenders. Queenstown is the last sight of Europe that many passengers will ever see. A passenger named Frank Brown, a Jesuit priest and amateur photographer, will disembark at Queenstown. He has only a ticket to there. He has been photographing the ship since Southampton. He will carry off the only photographs taken aboard the Titanic during the voyage. His negatives will survive. His images will become some of the most studied photographs of the 20th century. He gets off at Queenstown. He lives to 90, but that is tomorrow. Tonight, Queenstown is still ahead. Tonight the ship moves, steady, through the dark. Think about what people brought on this ship. The wealthy passengers, trunks of clothing, jewelry, business papers, gifts from Europe. One passenger, Charlotte Cardeza, is traveling with 14 trunks, 4 bags, and a hat box. Her jewelry alone is insured for a sum equivalent to millions today. The second-class passengers, more modest luggage, but still the accumulation of a life, or the equipment for a new one. The steerage passengers, what they could carry. Many of them are leaving with everything they own. Some are carrying things of no monetary value at all. A book from a grandmother, a photograph, a piece of cloth from the country they are leaving. These are the things that matter, not the first-class luggage or the jewelry, the photograph, the book, the cloth. All of it is moving through the channel tonight on the largest ship ever built. All of it carries the weight of a life. The ship does not sleep. While the passengers rest, the watch continues. Officers on the bridge checking position and course. Lookouts in the crow's nest scanning the horizon. Engineers below monitoring the engines. Stewards available for any passenger who rings. Tonight, the watch is unremarkable. The channel is one of the best charted bodies of water in the world. The ship knows exactly where it is. The traffic is familiar. These routes are traveled every day. The lookouts in the crow's nest wrap their coats tighter. The April night is cold. The sea is calm and dark. They scan the horizon. Nothing to report. The ship moves on. The ship rocks you gently. There is no roll tonight. The channel is too calm, the ship too large. But the engines create a subtle vibration that travels through the hull, through the deck, through the bed. It is the feeling of movement, of going somewhere. The sound of the engines is the sound of the ship alive. You are safe. You are warm. The finest ship ever built is carrying you through the night. Let the engines hum. Let the stars turn. Good night. The Titanic moves through the dark. The engines hum. The stars turn. The sea is calm. Good night. Rest. Good night from the Titanic. Good night. Thank you for spending the first night at sea with the Titanic. History ZZ has many more worlds waiting for you. The mystery of Tunguska, ancient Varanasi, first light at Normandy. Wherever you would like to rest tonight, we have a world for you. Sleep well, wherever you are. History ZZZ.